Sorry, everybody. 1 second. All right, here we go. We're good to go. All right, we are live. Hey, what's up, everybody? As always, thank you so much for tuning in to Big Blue Sports Podcast tonight. As always, I'm your host, Lando the Sports Mando. Got a good show for y'all tonight, and I do want to say I am doing a Wednesday night show tonight. I was not able to do one last night. The start of the new season of kickball kicked off last night. Yeah, kicked. So we were out pretty late. I got home late, and I wasn't able to get to a show. So I'll be doing one tonight, and I will also be doing another show tomorrow night as well, just so I can kind of get back into things. I'm gonna this will kind of be a quick show tonight, y'all. I'm mainly just gonna be doing recaps of what happened over the weekend, and then not just with football, but I'll be doing some baseball recap as well, and we'll might go over a little bit about basketball. The regular season will kick off in 2 weeks. Preseason's going on right now. I was only able to watch the Celtics and the 76ers preseason game. I haven't really been watching much of basketball. But hey, we're excited to have basketball back. Another sport we get to talk about. I definitely will be having a lot of guests, a lot of a lot of visitors come on the show during basketball. I have so many people that are really, really in tune with basketball. But hey, without further ado, y'all, we're gonna kick it off with some little bit of football. A lot of good college games happened over the weekend. First one I'm going to kind of get into, obviously, I got to talk about the LSU Missouri game. Watching that game, it was very infuriating, I should say. It did not get off to a great start. LSU got staggered. They got staggered on offense. Jaden Daniels got popped really hard during one possession. He lost the football and he fumbled it. And I'm like, oh great, here we go. It's just a repeat of last week. What happened was, we got into a really bad hole. Missouri scored on a touchdown on their first three offensive possessions. So that's 21 points right out the gate on your first three drives. So we're down 21-7. We were able to get a score in between those three drives. But yeah, it wasn't pretty, man. It was frustrating. I mean, defense was making horrible plays. Couldn't get, we were just grabbing, not tackling. I mean, it was bad. I mean, coverage was getting blown. Our DBs were just getting made fun of. Like, it was bad. Like, it got to the point where, and I know a lot of LSU fans felt this way. Like, I wanted to punch a hole through the wall, even my own television, believe it or not. It's infuriating, man, when just to see your team get whooped around like that. So Missouri dominated the first half, and they started with the ball in the second half. And second half, our offense came out really well. We brought the game close. Our defense was actually making plays. We picked off Brian Cook like twice. One was a pick six. The first one he threw was beautiful coverage by Harold Perkins. He read the quarterback's eyes all the way through the play, and Cook just never saw him. He threw it right to Perkins, and that was the first turnover of the game. It was super exciting because we're like, golly, and we were in disbelief. Like, damn, we actually made a stop. Like, we actually did this. Like, holy shit. No, it was exciting. I mean, it was exciting because there was a new fresh of life after that play, and then eventually we did wind up scoring. We took the lead late in the third quarter. However, though, we still struggled defensively a good bit. We let Missouri take the lead on multiple occasions. It was kind of a back and forth game uh, in the first like 5-6 minutes of the fourth quarter, and then our defense started making plays again. We were forced 2 more 3-and-outs in the fourth quarter. We were able to score and take advantage of that. We, however, though we were only up by 3 at one point. We took the lead late in the fourth quarter, and it's 42-39, and I'm like, damn, all because Missouri, all they need is just a field goal to tie, and we go into overtime. And I'm like, man, I don't know if our defense can hold. Like this is gonna end bad. Like we're gonna either have to go into overtime or we're gonna suffer another loss. Nope. Major Burns made a fantastic play. Cook made a horrible decision. Burns was sitting right in that zone coverage. And he picked off Brian Cook, and he took it to the house for a pick six. And that was the hook, line, and sinker right there. That sealed it. We went up by 10 at that point. The final score was 49-39, and it was so exciting to see that our defense come up and make a play when they needed to, when they were called upon the most. They delivered, and they helped us get that victory. And I was. Even though it was very infuriating to watch, we did come up with a victory. Now, however, LSU does play against Auburn this weekend, and that's a whole different animal. Auburn almost beat Georgia last week. They only lost by 7. They were right there. So Auburn will be a very tough opponent. It will be played at Tiger Stadium. They're gonna give us work, man. They really are, and our defense is going to have to get it together. They're going to have to show up to play. They cannot allow so many mistakes. They're going to have to play really good football. If they don't, we're going to lose by Auburn. We're going to lose to Auburn really bad, and it's going to leave a bad taste in LSU fans' mouth. And I'm not ready for that, and I know y'all don't want to experience that for sure. But, hey, we shall see. I'm hoping it's going to be a good game. But of course, and I gotta give my hats off to Jaden Daniels. He played his heart out, man. He really did. I mean, my man was hurting bad. He took a late shot. He took in my opinion, it was a late shot in the end zone when they should have scored, but unfortunately they got called for a hold. LSU was called for holding on that play, so the touchdown didn't count. And he was hurting for a good bit. And Nussmeier had to play a few snaps. But, hey, it happens, man. Football is a violent sport. I didn't like how Jaden got hit late like that. But, hey, man, you win some, you lose some. And it's just so – golly, it's just – the officiating in that game was terrible, man. It really was. Both teams had over double-digit penalties. I truly believe, though, and you can watch the highlights from this game or the full game on YouTube, but it's just the fact that LSU was getting called for so much stupid shit while they were just letting Missouri get away with so much. I just felt like they were dick riding Missouri, like late in the game, like in the fourth quarter, particularly. Like Missouri's on the 2-yard line. They're about to score, and one of their offensive linemen clearly jumps before the ball is snapped, and the players are pointing, and the play doesn't stop. It keeps going, and Missouri wound up scoring. That shit was retarded. Like, you literally have a back judge standing right there watching all the players on the line. And you could see it clear as day. And that he didn't see it. The play was never stopped. And it should have been a false start. But it never got called. But, anytime, but they sure as hell called false starts when LSU was on offense. Like it just seemed ridiculous, man. Like I don't know. It's like the officiating in that game was very wonky. And another thing too, I never discerning penalties, or sorry, discerning signals. That was the penalty that was called 4 times in that game. And literally, I was like, "What is that? I've never heard that shit before." And literally, what it is like a defensive player cannot clap his hands repeatedly before the ball is snapped, because it will signal to the center, or the center will take that as a signal for the quarterback asking for the football. So it's like you're confusing the center on like who's actually trying to call for the football. And I did not know that was a penalty. I mean, I was like, okay, all right. I think it's a stupid ass penalty in my opinion. Like the defensive players have always clapped before the ball is snapped or after the ball is snapped. It's just something they do to hype up the men around them, or hype up the team. I mean, it's just what they do. They've been doing it for years. I mean, you can't a center that's in college and NFL as well. They are more than well trained and equipped to know to tell when to snap the ball and when not to snap the ball. I mean, you go over that in practice and training camp before the season starts and while the season's ongoing. I don't know. It was that penalty was called 4 times, and I couldn't believe it because I've never heard of it before. But I guess something new happens. Something new happens every week. Yeah, and then of course, moving on to the next game, the Red River rivalry, Oklahoma and Texas. That was a great game. There was a lot of celebrities there. Pat McAfee and his crew. He brought some guests. He brought some special guests on there. They were calling the play-by-play on the sidelines. They were at the back of the end zone, south end zone, I believe, and they were just calling plays and stuff. And they had another group of people, part of Pat McAfee's group, that were also doing play-by-play. They were on the opposite side of the field. It was pretty cool. Pat McAfee, of course, he's a funny guy. He knows what to say, how to call it. He enjoyed it. I mean, he looked like he was dressed like a full-on cowboy for the game. So wasn't really rooting for anybody. He was playing, just, he was just happy to be there, experience a wonderful football game. It really was, guys. Texas and Oklahoma were battling out for the first 2 quarters. I mean, both offenses were struggling a good bit. They were trying to find some momentum. Both sides were trying to find some momentum. Late in the second quarter, like midway through the second quarter, the teams kind of got it going. Texas and Oklahoma were scoring on back-to-back drives. In halftime, it was 14-10, 17-14, something like that. So it was close. And in the second half, both teams were able put full throttle. They were in full throttle in the second half. Oklahoma scored quick, and then Texas would respond, and then Oklahoma would come back again, and then Texas responded back. It was back and forth, especially in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma scored, and then Texas was able to get a rushing touchdown. It was like a 40-yard rushing touchdown. They tied it up with that one. It was 27-27. And then Texas was finally able to get a stop on Oklahoma. They got the ball back, and Texas didn't score. They only got in the field goal range, and it was a 3-point game. So Oklahoma still had an opportunity. But this was like do or die. This is your last drive of the game. And then, they did. They got to the 50, and the next thing, all of a sudden, their tight end is just standing over the middle. He catches a pass over the middle, and he picks up like an extra 20, 25 yards. I mean, it was just blown coverage, man. That was bad. Of course, they get right in the field goal range. You could tie it. But, hey, they were playing for the touchdown. They want to get the win. So Oklahoma is getting closer and closer. Next thing you know, they're at the 6-7 yard line. There's about 20 seconds left in the game. Texas has got to make a stop. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Oklahoma ran a beautiful play action pass. It was the tight end. The tight end the tight end was lost in coverage, and there was only one defender there that could have made a play for Texas. Unfortunately, though, he had a decision to make. He either took the underneath guy, which was the tight end, or the extra wide receiver that came in motion from the right side. That was open in the corner. He was the only guy over there, so he had to make a decision. He either takes the underneath route or he takes the over route. Of course, he took the underneath route, the tight end. He expected someone to help him over top, but there was nobody there. It was beautifully executed, and Oklahoma scored. They got the touchdown with 15 seconds left in the game, which made it 34-30. So Texas technically still has a chance with 15 seconds left. Of course, they tried their best. They got down to the field. I mean, they got to the 50, like the 49, 50-yard line. So Texas, and by that time, Texas only had one opportunity. They had to go for a Hail Mary. They didn't get it, and Oklahoma won the game 34-30. It was very masterful. I didn't watch all of it. I did watch a good bit. It was a really great game. I enjoyed it. But now we'll have to see who ranks in the top 25 now. I will talk more about the top 25 tomorrow. But I promise you, Texas is not number 3 anymore. I do believe somebody else has their spot now. I haven't got a chance to look at it, but we will talk more about it tomorrow. Yeah, but Oklahoma should move up a lot. Texas actually moved to number 9. Oklahoma is now 5th, so Oklahoma is now in the top 5. So that's crazy. That's great for them. I wonder how long they will stay there, though. And, of course, LSU went to 22, so they really only moved up one spot. They were 23 before, now they're 22. Ohio State is ranked number 3 now. They won 37-17 over Maryland. Maryland was giving them a good game in the first half, but in the second half, Ohio State's offense came together, and they were just diming them up on every possession almost. Marvin Harrison Jr., he had another great receiving game. He is the son of Marvin Harrison Sr., who is a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Played for the Indianapolis Colts for the majority of his career. He was a great receiver for the Colts. Peyton Manning loved him a lot. UCLA beat Washington State 25-17. This is another top 25 matchup. I picked Washington State to win this game, but unfortunately they couldn't deliver. They were just, UCLA was just making their life a living hell, and Washington State just could not move the ball, especially in the fourth quarter. They were very stagnant. It was a very slow-paced game. North Carolina beat Syracuse 40-7. Oof. And then Alabama and Texas A&M. Alabama's ranked 11th right now. That was a good game as well. I watched a good bit of that one as well. I say all good bit of 2 hours of the game watching on TV. Oh, sheesh. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. No, that game was awesome. I truly thought that Texas A&M was going to walk out with the victory. This was being played at College Station at A&M, so this was a great opportunity for them. I mean, A&M was doing great for a while. I mean, it took. Oh, I say it was great, but their offense was stat. I mean, both offenses struggled at first, but Texas A&M was the first to score, and they tried to keep the momentum going. Unfortunately, though, Alabama's defense rose to the occasion. They made stops when they needed to. They were getting pressures, sacks, forcing Max Johnson for A&M to, make quick decisions, be off balanced. Yeah, Max. I mean, both teams were turning the ball over. Fumble, then a pick. Max Johnson threw like two interceptions, and then it was bad. I mean, one was right after a turnover, so A&M just got a pick off of Jalen Milroe, and then 2 plays later, Max Johnson throws an interception and gives it right back to Bama. And I'm like, man, golly, is this going to be like a back and forth defensive battle? But ultimately, Alabama won 26-20. The wide receiver they had was the player of the day for that game. Jermaine Burton was the leading receiver in that game. He had 9 receptions, 197 yards, and 2 touchdowns. My man was balling. Like Texas A&M had no answer for him. But yeah, but Alabama won 26-20. They stay good on that. Like I said, they're ranked number 11th right now. Uh-oh. Shit. Sorry. Oh. And then we had Florida State playing Virginia Tech. I mean, Florida State came out with a victory. Florida State's actually ranked still in the top 5. They're number 4 now. They've been in the top 5 for multiple weeks now, so hey, they're doing a lot better than I thought. Florida State's got a good team. Kansas beat University of Central Florida 51-22. That was a blowout. Georgia and Kentucky, I thought would be a much closer game, but Kentucky just got blown out of the water, man. 51-13 was the final. Like Georgia just ran they made these guys look foolish, man. I thought it was going to be a much closer game too because Kentucky hadn't lost yet. They were playing really good football. I thought they could really rise up to the occasion against Georgia, but no. Georgia said we're having none of that. Then Notre Dame and Louisville. Notre Dame lost 20-33. I was really disappointed in that. I had high expectations for Notre Dame. They've been playing really good football. They've had close games, and then they just get blown out by Louisville. It's ridiculous. Ole Miss and Arkansas played. Ole Miss won 27-20. That was a close game. Ole Miss is ranked 13th at the moment. Crazy. Ole Miss went from scoring 50-something points to 27 the next week. Just shows you, how bad our defense is. And then Michigan and Minnesota played. Michigan won 52-10. That was an easy dub. Miami, Florida lost to Georgia Tech 23-20. That's an upset. I heard about that game with them as well. What happened was apparently, it was just bad play calling. Like Miami, Florida had a chance to at least tie it up, but unfortunately, just the clock management at the time was just being executed horribly. And you're just like, man, what the hell? What could have happened here? I mean, you hate to see it. You really do. Oh, boy. Let's see. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Nothing important. Sorry, I was turning off my notifications on my phone. But yeah, that was an upset because Georgia Tech's not even ranked, and Miami, Florida is ranked 25th. So that was a huge win for Georgia Tech. Oregon State beat California 52-40. That was a high scoring game. And then USC barely escaped out of Arizona. That was almost a huge upset. But USC prevailed in double overtime, 43-41. I'm sorry, triple overtime, 43-41. They are still ranked in the top 10. And that's great. That's crazy. Because Arizona hasn't really been playing well, and then to come into USC's house and almost beat them that's still a great feat. They didn't win, but they gave USC a run for their money, which makes me think. USC is not all that great as they cracked up to be. Their offense is great, but it seems like their defense has some weak links, so they are beatable. Yeah, we got some good matchups this Saturday in college football, but we'll talk more about those matchups tomorrow. But that was all. That was all the major games that happened last week. I did Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina. I watched when we were out eating last night at Rock Paper Taco in Baton Rouge. We that game was on TV over where we were eating at. I'm not sure who won the game. I can look into it a little bit later. But I did see that Appalachian State tied it up with Coastal Carolina, made it 24-24. But I'm not sure who won the game. And then they were talking about the rivalry, and Appalachian State hasn't lost to Coastal Carolina at home. They're 6-0 at home against Coastal Carolina. So hey, that's good shit. Appalachian State was good at one point, but yeah, But yeah, they're kind of average now. Sorry, y'all. Kind of been a long day, but now moving over to professional football. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for you, y'all. Man, and I meant to say, as always, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I always do genuinely appreciate it. Tomorrow will be my 30th live show, y'all. So I hope everyone has an opportunity to tune into it or the after broadcast if you can. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much, everybody. But yeah, y'all. So going over the scores, and then I'll talk about the game tomorrow. So it started off on Thursday night football with the Bears and the Commanders. Of course, when we talked about that on last week's show, the Bears won 40-20. That was their first one. That was the Bears' first win of the year, and they're 1-4 now when they're tied with the Minnesota Vikings. And the Bears and Vikings actually play each other this week. Isn't that some crazy shit? Anybody's game. But that was Justin Fields' best game of the season so far, and DJ Moore had a phenomenal performance. Had 8 receptions, 230 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns. He had a fantastic game. And I know he made a lot of fantasy owners happy as well. He made me happy. He got me over 40 points, almost 50. But yeah, overall, The Commanders' secondary is not really great, so I'm not surprised that Justin Fields was able to take advantage of that and find DJ Moore as much as he did, and DJ Moore was able to work and do his thing. It was a good win for the Bears. I mean, see if they can go on a little winning streak. They got like I said, they got the Vikings on Sunday. It is very much winnable. Unfortunately, because Justin Jefferson, he's on IR. He's going to miss. He's going to miss a couple weeks. He's just going to be out for 4 weeks. He suffered an ankle injury against the Chiefs this past Sunday. He was running a route and he cut too quick and it messed up his ankle a good bit. So he's going to be out for a little minute. But hopefully the Vikings can steer the ship right. They've been struggling themselves. They're 1-4 as well. Same thing with the Bears. So, like I said, it's anybody's game. And then the London game, we had the Jaguars and the Bills. This was the very early game. This is the Jaguars' second London game in 2 weeks. It was crazy. It's like back-to-back games in London. How does that shit work? But the Jaguars did win 25-20. Travis Etienne had a really great game. That was the best game of his career. He had 20 carries, 156 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. So he really helped the Jaguars out that day, and pulled off an upset win over the Bills, because the Bills were riding high. Like, they haven't lost a game since week 1 against the Jets, and ever since then the Bills have just been playing like out of this world. But hey, the Jaguars were able to pull them back down in reality. It was a good win for them. But I do believe the Bills will be able to bounce back on this Sunday. And then we got my boys, the New Orleans Saints, against the Patriots. Who dat, baby? The Saints won 34-0. Patriots were shut out. I knew we were going to win this game, but man, I did not expect us to blow them out the way we did. It just shows how putrid the Patriots are, man. Like, golly, I know Bill Belichick is he's extremely frustrated right now. They haven't scored a touchdown. Since, this is week 5. They haven't scored a touchdown since week 3. I think that was Sunday Night Football against the Dolphins. I think that was the last time they scored a touchdown. That's crazy, man. They only scored 3 points the game before when they played against the Cowboys. The Cowboys blew them apart. And I mean, the Saints played really well football. We got pressure on Mac Jones. We forced him to make mistakes. Tyrann Mathieu had a pick 6. That was the first score of the game. Of course, the offense struggled a little bit, but hey, they were able to take advantage. They were able to take advantage of the opportunities that were given to them. They had really great field position most of the game, and it paid off. Derek Carr didn't really have a fantastic game. He didn't have over 200 yards passing, but hey, he did have 2 tutties, and basically he was just doing what needed to be done. Just being a game manager. They call the plays that needed to be called and executed. But I'm really glad we won. I'm really glad we won that game. We needed to bounce back after losing 26-9 to the Bucs the week before. Next, we got the Colts and the Titans. The Colts won 23-16. Another close game. Zach Moss had a really great game on the ground for the Colts. He won't be starting anymore. Jonathan Taylor will be coming back for the Colts. He just got a 3-year, $42 million contract extension. So the Colts are happy to have him back, and hopefully Jonathan Taylor can produce results, because otherwise you just pay this man a lot of money and he ain't doing jack shit. Let's see. Oh, I got it here. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, just some stuff here. Isn't this interesting? No, just adding. Okay. We are good. Okay. Sorry about that, yo. Yeah, well, I gotta say, guys, this past Sunday, in the NFL, I mean, this was a great week for running backs. A lot of running backs really stepped up and did what needed to be done. Let's see. Let me come here. Ah, damn it. Crapola. I forgot to add it to the thing. Hold on. Let me find it in a second. Okay. What is going on? Hold on, guys. I'm having some difficulties here real quick. No. Why can I not find it? I know okay, here it is. I had a little difficulty finding it. My fault, my fault. Okay. Um but going back to it, the Colts, Colts they're playing really well right now. Every team they have played so far, they played them hard. The Colts have not been blown out yet. They have lost a couple close games, but they're winning games by less than 7 points, and then that's incredible. They beat the Ravens a couple weeks ago in overtime, 22-19, and that was a big win for them. So the Colts, I mean, hey man, don't sleep on the Colts, man. They're doing some great things over there. The Steelers beat the Ravens 17-10. Man, T.J. Watt, man. What more can I say about T.J. Watt? That man is a beast. There's a reason why he's always in the runner up for Defensive Player of the Year. That man is a sacking machine. The Steelers did a really great job in drafting him. He's the one that made the final play of the game on fourth down to seal it. And man, what a moment for TJ. He made Lamar Jackson's life a living hell that day. I mean, the Ravens just could not get any offense going, and they struggled bad. They gave up a safety in that game as well. And then we got the Lions and the Panthers. The Lions won 42-24. That was Jared Goff's best game of the season. He threw 4 TDs, had over 280 yards passing. He had a fantastic game. The Lions are a sleeper team, man. That's awesome how they're coming up so far. I really hope they can keep this momentum going. David Montgomery, their running back, he's running like an animal right now. He's got over 6 rushing TDs. He's has over 600. He has over 600 yards. I'm sorry, not 600. He has about 490, almost 500 yards rushing in the season. He's doing really well. This is probably the best season of his career so far. Hopefully, he can keep it up. I'm wishing a lot of high hopes for him. Even though I have Jahmyr Gibbs in my fantasy team, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs gets a couple handoffs here and there, but David Montgomery is the true back. Then we got the Falcons and the Texans. Falcons won 21-19. Falcons kicked a late field goal to win that game. We will also play the Texans this year. The Saints will. The Texans are not a bad team. I mean, they're coached really well. And the Texans are another team that hasn't really been like blown out of the water. I mean, they've had really great games. They beat the Steelers last week 30-6. Like they manhandled the Steelers. They almost came out against Atlanta, but unfortunately they couldn't make the stops when they needed to, and Atlanta was able to come out with a victory. And then we got the Dolphins and the Giants. The Dolphins won 31-16. No surprise there. The Giants have been struggling for a good while. They haven't had a victory since week 3 against the Cardinals, and they're struggling bad, which is very disappointing because a lot of people had high hopes for them because they made the playoffs last year, and now it just doesn't seem like they're going to make the playoffs at all. I know it's still early in the season, but Giants are just not playing well, man. I mean, their offensive lineman, Evan O'Neal, had a huge problem with just, how shit went. He called out the fans, and then he later apologized. It's just crazy, man. Hold on one second. He called out the fans, and then he. Sorry, y'all. One second. What's going on? Okay. Sorry, my phone's being weird. Okay, I got it back up again. Yeah, but this was a good bounce back week for the Dolphins. They lost to the Bills the week before, and they got back on track. So, and the Dolphins will look to keep it going. Hopefully the Giants can get it together, but I mean, unfortunately, seeing how their team is right now, they're kind of a dumpster fire at the moment. Then we got the Bengals and the Cardinals. The Bengals look like the Bengals against the Cardinals this Sunday. They looked really well. The Bengals offense was flourishing. Their defense played well. Jamar Chase had a fantastic game. He had over 150 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns with 15 receptions. That's a career high and a franchise record for the Bengals. I mean, he was the dude that day. And, Joe Burrow, played a fantastic game. He came into that stadium and said, "I'm him and I'm back." The Bengals made a statement with this game. I mean, they're showing that they're just not a pushover team like everybody thought they would be. I'm hoping they can keep this momentum going. I really hope they do. And they're able to turn things around. The Eagles and the Rams. Eagles won 23-14. The Eagles are still undefeated. Dallas Goedert had the best game of the season so far. Had over 110 yards receiving and a touchdown. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they were doing their thing. A.J. Brown had another great game. Devontae Smith was a great supporter. That team is scary, man. Offensively, they are super scary. And their defense is coming up to make big plays as well. And this was the first game back for Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has missed he missed the first 4 weeks due to a lingering hamstring injury. And, just coming back, this first game being back, he still looked like the same Cooper Kupp. Let's check it out. Yeah, Cooper Kupp had over 100 yards receiving in his first game back. No surprise there. He is so hard to guard, y'all. He really is. His route running is just fantastic. Then they had the Jets and the Broncos. The Jets won 31-21. The Broncos are just looking putrid, and I feel so bad for Sean Payton. My God, it looks like his players don't even want to play for him. And that's not Sean's fault. Sean's way of coaching, he wants to get the best out of his players, and he gives the players strict discipline. He said, "I want you guys to play as a unit, and this is how I want you to do it." And unfortunately, most of the Broncos don't want to follow that line. It's upsetting, man. It really is. And the Jet, Zach Wilson had another great game. Yeah, well, he didn't throw a touchdown, but hey, he did. They relied on their running game went pretty good. Breece Hall had over 150 yards rushing, 177 to be exact. I'm telling you, man, this past week was a great week for running backs. Like, people were running the football very effectively. And then the Chiefs and the Vikings. Chiefs won 27-20. This was a much closer game than I thought it would be. The Vikings were struggling offensively, but their defense helped them get a turnover on downs when they needed to. And then, unfortunately, like I said, Justin J. Jettas, he got hurt in the game, and it really hurt the Vikings in the end because they had an opportunity to get down and score, to tie it up, go into overtime. Unfortunately, on the last play of the game, Kirk got sacked on a 4-man rush when they had 5-6 blockers on that play, and Kirk still got sacked. And it was sad, man. Like, you got to give your quarterback an opportunity, man, and the offensive line just could not help them when they needed it. Hey, Kane, what's up, brother? I'm glad you can tune in, man. Right now, we're just going over some NFL games. I'm about to finish off the last two. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, there we go. Well, hey, Kane, thanks for joining the show, man. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're having a good time, man. Kane, if you're still there, brother, make sure you leave a like. Leave a like, brother. Always appreciate that. And then we got the Sunday night game, the Cowboys and the 49ers. This was the game of the week. And my goodness, the Cowboys got exposed bad. Dak Prescott looked so horrible. Honestly, the 49ers just made Dak Prescott their bitch, if you want me to put it blunt. I mean, Dak had 3 interceptions, barely, not even 200 yards passing. I mean, the Cowboys offense just could not get it going. I mean, the 49ers defense was just disgusting. Fred Warner is probably one of the smartest linebackers I've seen in pro football. Not only does he know how to tackle properly, but he knows when the opportunities come to him for him to knock out the football or force a turnover. He's like, his football IQ is just out of this world. He just literally punched the shit out of the ball out of Tony Pollard's hand, and 49ers recovered it. It was beautiful, man. It was a work of art. And then you got Brock Purdy leading that stacked offense. George Kittle had 3 receiving touchdowns that game. My man popped off. But the 49ers won 42-10. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, the Cowboys were stagnant the whole time. Their defense was just getting ran all over. They couldn't do anything, man. The Cowboys were just oof. It was bad. You hate to see it, bro. You really do. But I mean, hey, the 49ers, in my opinion, are probably the best team in football right now. I mean, I cannot wait till they play the Eagles. I really hope both teams are still undefeated by that time, because this will determine like who the best team in football is when the Eagles and 49ers play. I don't even think the Chiefs can keep up with either of these teams. I really don't. I truly believe that the 49ers will beat the Chiefs easily. And now the Eagles and the Chiefs, that's a different story. That can go back and forth. But, I mean, Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey, their offense was flying on all cylinders. And, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, by the way, that's the last pick of the NFL draft, the 256th pick of the NFL draft. He's not Mr. Irrelevant no more, I can assure you that. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Sorry. That was a great win for the 49ers. They are also undefeated, by the way. And then the Monday night game, the Packers and Raiders. It was a low-scoring game. Both defenses on each side, they were playing really well. Jordan Love made some early mistakes. It took a minute for the Raiders to get their first. Jacoby Myers was the main guy that night. Devontae was held in check for pretty much most of the night. He only had like one big catch, and that was it. And then, Josh Jacobs was involved a lot in the run game and passing game. He had a really great game for the Raiders. The Raiders were able to get a touchdown thanks to Josh Jacobs. And then the defense had a hole. Man, Max Crosby, the defensive end, edge rusher, he made Jordan Love's life a living hell. That's the Packers quarterback. Like Max Crosby was forcing Jordan Love to, make quicker decisions, throw the ball, get the ball out as quickly as possible, and just overthrowing or underthrowing receivers. Like Max Crosby he was all over Jordan Love, man. He only sacked Jordan Love one time, but it's just that extra presence out there. You just see it. Like Max Crosby is just getting to the football as quickly as he can. That's why he's one of the best edge rushers in the league. I give my props off to him. He had a fantastic game. But the Raiders were able to come out 17-13. And then, the Packers were doing good for a little minute, but they've lost their last two games. So, hopefully they can get it back together next week. All right. And we'll talk more about the upcoming matchups for Sunday and Monday in the NFL on tomorrow night's show. I will talk a little bit about the Broncos and the Chiefs. That's Thursday Night Football, which will be tomorrow night. Honestly, guys, the Chiefs are going to get steamrolled here. The Broncos are going to get steamrolled here. The Chiefs are going to have a field day against the Broncos. The Broncos' defense is putrid. Their offense is not really any better. Their offense can have good possessions here and there, but they're not going to outscore the Chiefs. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I like I said, I feel bad for Sean Payton. And he wanted to go there and help out the franchise, but it doesn't seem like the franchise wants anything to do with him. Like, he's trying his best. He brought his people in. He wants Russell. He knows Russell Wilson still has the capabilities of being Russell Wilson, but a lot of people are writing him off as being washed. Like, he doesn't care anymore. He only cares about himself, which I don't really see that as much. I see it a little bit, but in order for this football team to be successful, you got to come together as a unit. And right now, the Broncos just don't look like they're together as a unit. They're just kind of scattered and all over the place. Like, they don't believe in each other, or they just don't believe in the coaches. You can't win many games, You can't win many games with a mentality like that. So, but unfortunately, I am going to go with the Chiefs tomorrow night. The Chiefs are going to win over the Broncos, keep their win streak going. Patrick Mahomes is going to do Patrick Mahomes things. Right now, Travis Kelce is questionable. They're not sure if he will play tomorrow. Right now, they're monitoring it. They're monitoring the best they can. They will make a decision tomorrow, about 3 hours before game time, whether Travis Kelce will play or not. If he does, then yeah, that's an easy win for the Chiefs for sure. All right, guys. So now we're going to move over to some baseball. This will be the last thing we talk about tonight. With the baseball playoffs or the road to the World Series, the Phillies, so we kind of went over it a little bit. All the teams in the wild card round were swept. Pretty much every team that was in the wild card round, it was just win two games and move on. That's pretty much what happened with every wild card game. Won 2 games and then moved on. So the Astros eliminated the Twins tonight. The Astros will be moving on to the division series against the Rangers, who the Rangers have not lost a game yet in the postseason. They knocked out the Orioles. They swept the Orioles, which that was a surprise because the Orioles were the top-ranked team in baseball and in the AL. So when you knock out the number 1 seeded team in the postseason, that's saying something. The Rangers are riding high at the moment, but they are going up against the Houston Astros. They are division rivals, so it's going to be a fun series to watch. I hope the Rangers win because I'm tired of seeing the damn Astros in the World Series. I want the Rangers to expand so bad, bro. I really hope they can. So the division series, guys, will be the championship series will be a best of 7. So one team will have to win 4 games in order to advance to the World Series. So we shall see what happens. So right now, a game that's going on right now is Game 3. Arizona is leading this series over the Dodgers. The Dodgers are supposed to have like a super stacked team, and right now, I mean, they haven't won a game against the Diamondbacks yet. If the Diamondbacks win tonight, they will advance to the championship series. But right now they're up 4-2 over the Dodgers, and the seventh just ended, so they're about to do the top of the eighth. So the Dodgers will only have 2 more opportunities left. The Phillies won over the Braves tonight, 10-2. So Philadelphia leads the series now 2-1. If the Phillies win again, then they will move on. But if the Braves win, then they will have to play another game to decide it. The Braves are finished as the best team in the NL. They had the second best record in baseball behind the Orioles. And right now, I mean, the Phillies are doing everything they can. I mean, they had a great game tonight. Bryce Harper hit a 3-run home run, an absolute nuke, which was, I mean, that was a terrible pitch choice or pitch location by the pitcher. I mean, basically threw it almost over the heart of the plate where Bryce Harper could just smack it and send it to Jupiter, which is pretty much what he did. But yeah, the Phillies offense came alive tonight. They were hitting the ball well, and then they win by 8. So they will play tomorrow, and like I said, if the Phillies win, then they will move on to play either the Diamondbacks or the Dodgers, whoever wins out of that series. But it looks like the Diamondbacks are, unless if the Dodgers can come back in the 8th inning or the 9th. Yeah, man. It's been a crazy postseason so far. I mean, it's a surprise. I mean, the surprise are the Rangers. I mean, they're on a tear, man. They, like I said, they have not lost a game yet in the postseason. Nobody's beaten them yet. Now, is it bound to happen? Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But I mean, man, the momentum, the amount of momentum that the Rangers have right now is scary. Like I truly believe that they will beat the Astros, even though the Astros won a lot of the series in the regular season. I do believe that the Rangers will come back with a different mentality, and they have the skill set and composure to beat the Astros. And I really hope they can, because like I said, I don't want the Astros in the World Series. I'm tired of seeing them in there. Lord have mercy. But yeah, a lot more baseball ahead, y'all. We'll talk about more of the matchups tomorrow night as well. There will be some games that will be going on tomorrow as well. I know one will be like during the day, and I think they have a night game as well. Well, hey, we'll see how it goes. We'll talk about, we'll give our opinion, and see what you guys think. Let's see here. All right, everybody. Well, guys, I'm going to end it right here. It was a great show tonight. As always, thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all listening to me, or taking the time out of your night and your day to, listen to me, see what, listen to what I have to say. It means a lot to me. And as always, I hope y'all can tune into all future shows, either live or after broadcast. It means a lot to me. I wish the best and good fortune for everybody out there. And I hope y'all are doing the best in life. I truly, truly am. But guys, as always, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. And as always, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to your boy if you haven't already. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Peace.